Hey, Sap. Scoop. What's up, fam? What y'all doing, man? I know. I wanted to come to y'all before I start the video. Please, if y'all could do me a big favor, hit the like button, the bell button, post notifications, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to subscribe, you know what I'm saying? But please hit the like button and post notifications so you can stay updated on when I drop videos, you know what I'm saying? My Instagram or Facebook should be somewhere above my head, like over in this direction or something like that. Should pop on the screen, like, anytime now. So, hit that and do that for me. Share this motherfucking video, too. Let somebody that's interested in trucking get some trucking knowledge. So if y'all still tuning in and watching, this is part 2. This is just the engine compartment. This is part 2 of it. So after you do the passenger side, you're going to walk over to the driver's side. So once you get to the driver's side, the first thing that you're going to notice is your coolant, you're going to notice your oil, and you're going to notice your power steering. Now, like I said, they're all properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. And they hold liquid, so they're not leaking. And they're all full. Some people just walk around and just say they're all full, but what if they're leaking? What if something's leaking? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about this. What if it's leaking? Because the container compartment can get cracked and it can start leaking. So, properly mounted and secure. Or if it's not properly mounted, you got to make sure. Properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking, and it's full. That's all you have to say for your oil, your coolant, and your power steering. Now, keep in mind, you're already doing the power steering. So, what's the next thing you should mention? Your power steering high and low hoses. I will check these hoses like I did all my other hoses. Done. You ain't got to say nothing else. Then you'll go into your power steering. You'll move over to your air compressor and power steering pump, which should be on the frame behind the engine. So you'll say the same thing. They're properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And remember, it's gear driven. They're gear driven. So then you'll move from that and you'll go straight to your water pump. So once you get to your water pump, remember, that's not gear driven, it's belt driven. So, again, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's belt driven. You don't have to say too much about the belt, but I would check this belt like I did the belt on my passenger side. Boom. Last thing that you have to remember, the easier your life is. So, review that part. Then, here's where things start to get a little bit complicated, but a little bit easy if you can remember a lot of things. So, you'll drop down. After you get all that done, you pretty much mention your water pump. You don't mention your air compressor. You don't mention your power steering pump. So then, the next thing to remember is the frame. So, the frame of it. My frame is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no illegal welds or missing bolts. There's no illegal welds or missing bolts on my frame. Boom. You feel me? Done, G. Done. So after that, this is what I would do. I always go to my spring mounts, leaf spring. Now, you could combo this whole entire thing. But once you get, I'm going to feed it to you baby steps before I give you the whole, the whole joint. So, your spring mounts and your leaf springs. Spring mounts are front and back. Leaf springs is the spring that's stacked like Pringles. So, you want to say this properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And your springs have not shifted. Then you want to go ahead and talk about the U-bolts. U-bolts is holding that spring. They're properly mounted and secure. they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and there's no shiny threads to indicate looseness or cross-threading. After that, you want to mention your shock absorber. Don't forget this, because I forgot it one time too, and that was the first time I took my test. Shock absorber. It's properly mounted and secure, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. Boom. Now, if you want to combo this, this is how you do it. You'll walk up and you'll look at it. So you already mentioned your framing and all that. You'll go, my spring mounts, my leaf spring, my U-bolts, and my shock absorber are all properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. My leaf springs haven't shifted. My U-bolts, I don't see no shiny threads to indicate any looseness, and my shock absorber is not leaking. Boom. That's one of the parts, you know what I'm saying? Then you can go ahead and, move on. So the next thing that I normally do is I start to look at the brake hose and brake chamber. Right, so start moving your way from the inside out. So might as well come back up to the brake hose. Once you get to the brake hose, you be like, I'll check this hose like I would my other hose. My brake chamber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking or anything like that. You don't really have to say it's not leaking, because just say just because. But yeah, my brake hose and my brake chamber is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. Now I'll check that hose like I'll check all my other hoses. Boom. Done. Then the next thing you want to do is your slack adjuster and push rod. Remember that. Slack adjuster and push rod. My slack adjuster and push rod are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any pins. And with the brakes release, I have no more than 1 inch of play. That's it. Then you want to go ahead and you can mention, before you get to all that, you could go back in and mention your gearbox, because your gearbox is right there. The power steering gearbox, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. And then you want to remember your pitman arm. The pitman arm is right by the gearbox. And then you want to mention your drag link, your steering knuckle, your upper, lower control arm, and tire rod with castle nuts and cotter pins. All properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. I'm not missing any castle nuts or cotter pins. Boom. Then you come back to the tire. Come back to the tire, and you want to talk about your brake drum and lining. Now, the brake drum and lining is pretty simple. Properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. You won't see any grease to indicate any leaks. And your brake line is not worn dangerously thin. That's it. So then you'll look at your tire. Matter of fact, my bad. You'll look for your inner and outer hub oil seals. Properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. Then you'll come out, like I said, you'll look at your tire, and then you'll look at the rim, setting yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Tire and rim. Now, with the tire, you want to remember IDC. Or is it, I normally do IDC, or what they tell you to say ICD. Any way you want to do it, just remember inflation, condition, and depth. That's pretty much what you want to remember. So once you look at your tire, you just tell them that it's inflated to manufacturer specification. It's properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, because the tire can be cracked or bent. Well, you don't have to say cracked, bent, or broken. Just properly mounted and secure. There's no cuts, bubbles, abrasions, dry rot, or frays, and it's not leaking, because you know a tire can leak. It's, like I said, inflated to manufacturer specification, and the depth of that front steer tire is 4/32. It tell you that on your pretest when you take your for your permit. 430 seconds at the front, the back, like your dry tires, is 230 seconds. So remember that 430 seconds for the front, the dry tires is 230 seconds. So after that, you'll go to your rim and you'll tell them that your rim is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, and broken, and there's no illegal welds. Then after that, you'll look at your lug nuts. Your lug nuts are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no rust or shiny threads to indicate looseness or cross thread. So that's a little bit of that thing. They'll normally close the top of it because you pretty much mentioned everything that you have to mention. Your inner and outer hubs or seal, your lug nuts, your rim, your tire, ICD. Then you remember your brake drum, your lining, your slack adjuster, push rod. You remember your upper and lower control arm, your tire rod, your drag link, your pitman arm, your steering gearbox. You know, then just work my way backwards. From that, you remember your frame, your leaf spring, your spring mounts, your slack. Well, it says slack adjuster. Your spring mounts, your U joints, your what is it? U joints, shock absorber, your spring mounts, sleeve springs, shock absorber, U bolts, your then you remember your frame, I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to remember everything. Like I said, you only retain 30. So your power steering oil, and coolant, your air compressor, your steering pump, and I know it's a lot on water pump in this belt. So water pump, belt, air compressor, and power steering, gear driven. It's a lot. But for the bulk of that, boom, that's all you have to remember. Once they close the hood, you're on your way, you know? And then you'll walk to your driver's side, the side cab light, check these lights like I did on my other light. Then you gotta remember your mirror and mirror mounts, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. That's it. And then once you get to the door, you remember your door handle, the door handle, and door hinges, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then your side cabinet, emergency cabinet, should be a 10-ounce BC fire extinguisher, 3 DOT reflectors, and spare fuses, all properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Remember, you have a fire hose that can leak. Not leaking. So that covers the driver's side so far as the whole meat and veg of that, and the side cab lights, your mirror mounts, door latch, door hinges, and your emergency cabinet. So this is going to be I'm going to make it a couple part series. I'm trying to make sure I break it down so once you forget something, it's all there. So stay tuned. You're going to get it. Yee!